Hi everyone, it's Michelle from Considering Grace. I just wanted to share with you today my Bible journaling entry from Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6, which says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths." This is one of my favorite verses. It has been for years, and it just reminds us that we don't know what God's plans are for us, and we just need to trust Him and not trust our own understanding, not trust our own feelings on the situation, but to just trust Him with all our heart. What I'm doing today is I'm taking the word trust and I'm going to be applying gold flakes to it. So how I'm starting is I'm using my clear Versamark ink, and I stamped that onto the page. And then I added some embossing powder, and the trick here is that it is sticky embossing powder. That's the kind that you want to use for this kind of application. So it is made by Ranger Ink, so you can get it at rangerink.com. I've also seen it at scrapbook.com, and where I picked mine up was from Michael's. It was in the department that has inks and embossing things, so pretty easy to find. And so you just want to pour that on and then just tap off the excess. And I'm just putting my paper behind there again so that I can go back and add the S and the T. You want to make sure that you get the stamp really inked up well so that it's nice and wet for the embossing powder to stick to. So there I'm just applying the embossing powder again. And something you just want to be careful of is that you get rid of any embossing powder that isn't where it's supposed to be. The last thing you want is to have sticky parts on this page after you use the heat tool. You just want to have it where you're planning to put the gold flakes. So I'm just using the heat tool there to warm up the embossing powder. Basically, you just want to heat it up until you see that it's shiny and wet. And now I'm taking my gold flakes. These I found at Michael's. It took me quite a while to find them. They were in the section where Martha Stewart has all her paints and stenciling items, so that's where I found it. I needed a salesperson to help me find it. It took quite a while, but once I found it, I was really happy with what I found. The cost was probably about $12, and that's in Canada, so it might be cheaper in the US, I'm not sure. And there are other colors. I believe there was silver and a bronze. And I know I've seen multicolored foil before too, but I don't know where I've seen that before, so I'm not sure where you would get it. So you just want to apply the gold flakes and make sure that you get it on all of the parts where you stamped. And it would be ideal if I had a foam brush here, but I couldn't find my foam brush before doing this application, so I decided to go ahead and use the blending tool applicator from Tim Holtz Distress Inks, and that's working just fine. You just want to make sure that it's been applied everywhere you want it to, and then you're going to just take the excess and put it back in your container or wherever you're storing your gold flakes. I'm just using a plastic container with a lid. I got this idea from the Bible Art Journaling Challenge, which is led by Rebecca Jones. And I believe it was week 6 that she did that application. And it is a great lesson if you want to look it up and watch. At the time when week 6 was, oh gosh, it was way back, I didn't have the supplies to do this kind of application, so I waited until I had the proper things to do it with. And she mentioned that it was really fun, and it actually is kind of fun. It's a different type of application to do, and it's beautiful when it's done. So now I'm just taking my beloved Distress inks, and I'm using the color Wild Honey, and I'm just going over the entire page with this color just to give it some background. I find that this color looks really good with the gold flakes. I really liked it anyway. You want to be a little bit careful around the letters, but I found that it was pretty good. It didn't really come off when I was using the Distress inks around the letters. And the one thing that happened was I was using the same applicator that I used to brush off the gold flakes, so I got some of that in my ink pad there, but I'm okay with that. So now I'm just using some Victorian velvet to fill in some spaces and to fill in where the Bible verse is, where chapter 3, verse 5 and 6 is. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And if you'd like to receive notification of any more videos, please subscribe. Take care and God bless.